Hello and welcome to the channel. An Abuja-based man has discovered at a dumping site sensitive INEC materials that comprised results and declaration sheets at the Federal Capital Territory. Amazing, right? Just when we thought it couldn't get any worse. Let's get the complete gist, but first, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. How Abuja resident uncovered dumped sensitive INEC materials for Gombe and Kwara states. An Abuja-based middle-aged man who identified himself as Mustafa has narrated how he uncovered a heap of independent National Electoral Commission's sensitive materials comprising results and declaration sheets. Mustafa, who appeared in a viral video obtained by our correspondent, displayed some yet-to-be-filled sensitive materials littered close to the refuse site around Jikwoyi area in Karu Amak municipality of the Federal Capital Territory. Our correspondent reports that from the empty declaration of results sheet cited, no fewer than 7 candidates with 7 political parties, which include Dogo Bukar, Action Alliance, Niju Jonathan, African Democratic Congress, Gold Coast Gayos All Progressives Congress, Abubakar Ibrahim, New Nigeria People's Party, Marcus Samuel, People's Democratic Party, Abdulaziz Saudi, Social Democratic Party, and Stephen Nerus, Young Progressives Party, were among those discovered. Narrating the discovery in a telephone interview, Mustafa told our correspondent that his daughter picked some pieces of paper on her way back from school, and upon scrutiny, he discovered that they were sensitive INEC materials. He disclosed that immediately he asked his daughter to lead him there, but before he arrived at the dump scene, the materials had been picked up by unidentified persons. He said, "These papers were dumped around Jikwoyi area and it was discovered by my daughter who brought me there on my instruction. Having seen pieces of the sensitive materials she picked from a pathway. And it was discovered by my daughter who brought me there on my instruction, having seen pieces of the sensitive materials she picked from a pathway. When I discovered that they were electoral documents for past elections, National Assembly and Presidential, and for the yet-to-be-conducted elections, House of Assembly and Gubernatorial. Why I picked interest was when I saw one of the forms bearing Gombe, especially the candidate of Pero Chonge constituency, Marcus Samuel. But before we could get there, the heap of documents which was previously dropped in sacks had been moved by unknown persons. Mohoret Bigon, public affairs officer in the Gombe INEC office when contacted, said it was most likely for the House of Assembly to be tampered with, stressing that the size of the constituency reduces margin of possible error. He said, "Well, I can see a duplicate with names of candidates. Someone might have printed that with the aim of using it during the election. However, results are generated from polling units, and for state assemblies, the constituency is usually smaller, which reduces the margin of error also. I don't see anyone just writing results. Who will announce it? Remember, declaring false results attracts a sentence according to the Electoral Act 2022. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has demanded the resignation of the national chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. It said this was a sequel to its review of alleged infractions and brazen violations of the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 during the conduct of the last elections. The National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Debo Ologunagba, at a press conference in Abuja on Friday also demanded that the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, should commence investigations into the reported electoral violations and manipulations during the presidential and National Assembly election. Saturday Punch had reported how INEC's declaration of the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, as the winner had sparked rejections by the PDP and Labour Party over claims of numerous electoral violations. Ologunagba said, The PDP demands that the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, immediately steps down from office, having abused the confidence and dashed the hopes of millions of Nigerians, as well as political parties and the international community, for a free, fair, and credible election. His exit as chairman will be the first step towards sanitizing the Electoral Commission and restoring the confidence of Nigerians, especially as the nation prepares for the rescheduled March 18, 2023 governorship and state assembly elections. The PDP demands that the Inspector General of Police and the Director General of the Department of State Services immediately commence investigations into the electoral violations and manipulations by INEC with a view to prosecuting Professor Mahmoud Yakubu and other officials of the Commission for Electoral Offences. The spokesperson alleged that INEC deliberately sabotaged the upload and transmission of results directly from the polling units in favor of the APC, as now abundantly exposed in the pictorial and video evidence of compromised result sheets in many parts of the country. In the same vein, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission should open an investigation into allegations that certain top officials of INEC were heavily compromised financially to manipulate the electoral process. The spokesperson of the party pointed out that the PDP had also reviewed the latest scheme by INEC to reconfigure the Beavers devices to deny Nigerians and political parties, especially the PDP, and its candidates, access to relevant information required to prosecute their case at the Presidential Election Tribunal. He wondered why the INEC chairman rushed to announce and declare alleged manipulated results that were not transmitted directly from the polling units to INEC server and websites, and ignored the objections and complaints raised during the collation of results in deliberate violation of the provisions of Section 64, 4, A and B, 64, 6, A and D, and 65, 1, C of the Electoral Act 2022. He added, for emphasis, while Section 64, 4A and B expressly require the INEC chairman as the chief returning officer to announce only results that were transmitted directly from the polling units, Section 64, 6, A and D, and 65, 1, C compel INEC in the case of disputes, complaints, or objections regarding a collated result or the result of an election from any polling unit to take steps including the review of collation where they are made contrary to the provisions of the law, regulations, guidelines, and manual issued for the election. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Bye.